Hi, my name is Winswe Similane and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Hit the subscribe button down below and the gray bell next to it so that you can get a notification whenever I do post a new video. And to everybody else that has subscribed, thank you so much for your love and thank you so much for the support. So today I want to share about looking for approval from other people. This was brought on by a conversation that I had earlier in this week with one of my mentees who's basically having a difficult time with some of her friends. They're basically belittling her and ridiculing her for a decision that she has made in her life. She's basically decided that she no longer wants to date. She wants to just focus on her schoolwork and focus on becoming a better version of herself. And these friends are making her feel as if she is I'm looking for the correct word, I can't think of one, but basically these friends are making her feel that she's stupid for deciding not to date anymore. First and foremost, if you have any friend that is making you feel small because you have decided not to date and focus on your schoolwork, you do not need that kind of friend in your life. You need to pack up your emotions and you need to get out of that relationship, because you do not need any person making you feel small for a decision that you have made that is going to better your life. Boys, girls will always be there, but the time that you have to work on your education will not be there. There's only one 2018 in your entire life, and you're not going to get back this time. So if your friends are telling you that you need to date instead of focusing on your schoolwork, pack your emotions, get out. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's difficult for teenagers especially, but it's also difficult for, I believe it's difficult for people in general not to seek approval from other people. And I'm not sitting here as a saint saying that I never seek for approval from other people. But what I've learned over the years, what I've learned with the stuff that I've gone through in my life, is that people's approval should be something that makes you better. If I'm looking for an approval for something, it should be because whatever it is going to make me better. I believe, like I said to my mentee, that you do not need a friend who is going to lead you into a path of destruction, because the minute you start focusing on boys, you start focusing on partying, you start focusing on everything else that is happening around your life besides your schoolwork, besides you're improving yourself, you start to have all these other things going on around you, and then you get lost. So yes, we need approval. We need people to validate us, but you don't need people to validate you for a wrong decision. You don't need people to validate you for anything that's going to take away from you. You do not need that kind of you do not need, there goes English out the door. You do not need that kind of validation from anybody. You really don't. To share my story, I grew up in my teenage years. I'd always, people around me, in my family, certain friends would say to me that you're not pretty, you're not good enough. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? And I'd always used to change myself so that I could get their approval. So I would dress in a certain way and then ask, okay, am I pretty when I'm dressed like this? And they'd still say no. And then I'll do a certain thing and then come back and ask, is this okay? Am I doing this okay? And they still wouldn't be pleased or wouldn't approve. And then what I've learned over the years is that my seeking approval from other people did not make me into a better person. Instead, it took away from me, because my seeking that approval from those people was me changing who I am. People would tell me that, oh my goodness, you're so loud, you're so opinionated, you've got something to say about everything. And I didn't realize it until later on in life that there's nothing wrong with me being opinionated. There's nothing wrong with me having something to say about almost everything. it's not necessary for me to dumb myself down just so I could fit into a relationship with the boy, or I could fit in into a relationship with a group of friends. It wasn't necessary. I needed to be true to myself. I wish somebody had told my 16-year-old self that you do not need approval from people if it's taking away from you. That is my point that I'm trying to make, is that if the approval that you are seeking from somebody is taking away from you, you do not need that kind of approval. If it's taking away from who you are, taking away from your essence, you do not need that kind of approval in your life. I heard, I think it was T.D. Jakes' wife in one of the sermons that she was given. She said that do your best and God will take care of everything else. And if you believe that you are doing your best with your own life, God will take care of everything else. You do not need the second person's approval of whether or not what you're doing is right, if it's the right thing. Yes, if you're going to now decide that you're going to be an alcoholic and you're going to smoke and you're going to party all the time, and you have that friend that's coming to you and saying to you, look, my friend, what you're doing is destroying you, and you choose not to listen, you are the person that's not wanting to be a better person. But if you're having a friend that is going to ridicule you because you decided to look at your books instead of boys, you do not need that kind of friend in your life. What DJ Sbu says that books before boys because boys bring babies. Those things are not said because people don't know. They're said because people do know, because we do not have enough people going around telling our girls, telling our boys that you don't need to find validation from other people, but you need to do it in yourself. I'm 120% behind my baby girl, and she knows this. And I tell her, look, if your friend is telling you something that is against your principles, that is against what you believe in, you don't need that kind of friend in your life. I don't want to ramble. I really don't want to ramble. This is just a quick video, and I want to say to any boy, any girl, any woman, any man that is watching this, that you do not need those kind of relationships in your life. Why am I saying? If I had known this in my early 20s, if I had known this, I would have not gotten into a multitude of relationships that I did get into. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about people I've dated. I wouldn't have gotten into those relationships. It wasn't until later on in my life where I've realized that I don't need to change for anybody. And people will love me just the way I am. People will love me and respect the decisions that I've made. But I need to make those decisions. I need to be able to stand by those decisions. And people will like me irregardless. I got into a relationship that taught me this. That taught me that, Sbo, you don't need to be another version of you to make somebody else happy. Or you don't need to be another version of you to make somebody else feel better about themselves at your expense. You don't need that. Nobody needs that in their life. You cannot be taking away from yourself to make somebody else feel better, because relationships are two-way streets. I need to give you some and you need to give me some. I can't be pouring out of my cup consistently and not getting anything back into my cup, because I'm going to dry up. I'm going to be left with absolutely nothing else to give. So basically, that's what I wanted to say today, is that you need to learn and come to a place where you are the best version of yourself, where you are doing your ultimate best for you, and God will take care of the rest for you. You need to come to a point where you can stand by a decision that you have made. As young and as old as you are, you can stand by a decision that you have made and be able to say to people that, look, this is what I've decided over my life. I have a friend who has decided to be celibate. She's quick about it. She tells you straight that it's the first thing she tells a guy that wants to get to know her. She says, look here, this is who I am. This is the decision that I have made over my life. If you are going to in any way try to get me to change this decision, you need to go. If you are going to come into the relationship and you're going to support my decision, that's fine. That's okay. Yes, the decision was made when you were not there, but it's my decision. It's not now going to change because you are in my life. And I respect her for that. And I respect that she's willing to not compromise and and not do anything and change anything about herself so that she could get to where she needs to be. So this is my piece of advice to anybody and everybody out there that is going through something, that is going through seeking approval from people. You do not need approval from people if it's taking away from the person that you are, if it's taking away from your goodness, if it's taking away from your purity. You do not need that kind of approval from anybody. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button down below, and please comment and let me know what it is that you think about this video, what it is that you think about what I've said, and if you'd like me to talk about anything else, just hit me down in the comment sections down below and I'll be able to talk about it. If I don't know anything about it, I'll be sure to bring on somebody who does know more about it and ask those questions. But thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and may the good Lord bless you, and I love you. Mwah.